I will tear its throat out. I will gut it. Asher stood there, soaking wet. His claws were extended 3 inches. He was glaring daggers at my new Labrador, Rocky. His eyes were so red they looked like they were bleeding. Just last month, this werewolf looked at me with those same ferocious eyes. Cold, detached, human. A wolf has only one mate in a lifetime. That will absolutely not be you. Then he vanished into thin air. I stood there, confused. I was raising you as a dog. Why did you think I wanted to date you? But now, the noble apex predator was squatting on my welcome mat. He was tugging at my pant leg. Please. He choked back a sob, retracted the razor-sharp claws. Keep me. My fur is softer than his. I eat less than him. If you do not say yes, I will eat him. The 3rd month after I picked up the wolf, he ran away. But before he left, he gave me a warning. A wolf only has one mate. I already have a wolf I like. I will never accept you. Put away your dirty thoughts. I will not like you. He bolted, leaving me standing there, dumbfounded. What was he talking about? I always treated him like a dog. What does that have to do with being a mate? Picking up the werewolf was an accident. I thought he was a dog. Day 3. He turned into a human. He was lounging in my sofa cushions, eating chips, watching TV. When he saw something he liked, that big fluffy tail wagged happily. Swish, swish. In that moment, I questioned everything I knew about reality. Later, he looked at me with disgust and gave me a lecture on the species. Apparently, he is a normal result of evolution. So, can you eat kibble? I asked, rubbing his ears. Don't pinch. His face turned bright red, steam practically rising from his skin. He took a step back, answered me seriously. I eat meat. I do not eat dog food. I am not some low-level creature that wags its tail for humans. Me, kind of high maintenance. Asher left. No explanation. Just gone. I spent a long time trying to figure out his game. Finally, I gave up. My life returned to its peaceful, boring rhythm. Until 2 weeks later, Mr. Reynolds asked to meet at a cafe for a project review. I brought my laptop. It wasn't hard to spot him. Asher. He was in human form. Tall, broad shoulders filling out a bespoke suit. He stood on the mezzanine, looking down at the crowd with cold, bored eyes, like a king surveying peasants. Ivy, do you know Mr. Bernard? Mr. Reynolds followed my gaze. His eyes lit up. Mr. Bernard is the majority shareholder of Rogan Corporation. I picked this place hoping he'd show up. He leaned in, voice dripping with hope. Could you introduce me? I paused. I realized who he meant. The werewolf. I kept my face blank, shook my head. No, just admiring the view. He is handsome. I'll give him that. Mr. Reynolds sighed. He couldn't hide his disappointment. I ignored it, wrapped up the presentation, stood up to pay. That's when I saw it. Asher. He was leaning in, talking to a woman. Sloane. She was polished, expensive, a sophisticated, stylish woman. They were close, too close, their bodies overlapping. From my angle, it looked like he was holding her, or kissing her. I averted my gaze. Whatever. Not my circus, not my wolf. Walking home, I passed a pet clinic. A puppy in the window. A yellow Labrador. I pressed my hand against the glass. He looked up, grinned, lifted a paw and pressed it against my hand through the window. Click. Decision made. I'm taking him. Raising a dog? Infinitely better than raising a werewolf. Rocky doesn't talk back. He loves his kibble. He's a good boy. When I'm out, he just sprawls on the rug, waiting for me to come home. We went everywhere. The beach, the aquarium, the seal exhibit. One day, I stopped for coffee. No pets allowed, the barista said. Fine. I tied Rocky's leash to the railing outside. Be a good boy. Shadows fell over me. 2 people. Asher and the woman from the cafe. Sloane stared at Rocky's wagging tail. She let out a scoff. Dog, wagging their tails, begging for scraps. What a disgrace to the canine species. Beside her, Asher stood silent. His eyes were dark, murky. He stared right at me. I didn't even look at them. I reached down and ruffled Rocky's ears. You're such a good boy, Rocky. Mommy's going to make you beef meatballs tonight. I stood up, stepped around them like they were traffic cones. I didn't give them a single glance. I stepped out. Rocky was gone. My blood ran cold. Asher was standing in the doorway, leaning against the frame, cigarette in hand, smoke curling around his long fingers. A wolf smoking? Seriously? He saw my face. He looked disdainful and weirdly excited. Look, he left you. He took a drag, smirked. How could a creature with no intelligence be loyal to a master? I rolled my eyes. I didn't have time for his drama. I pushed past him. Rocky. I walked down the street, scanning every corner, asking every pedestrian, have you seen a yellow Labrador? About this big. Nothing. I walked for 2 kilometers. Panic started to claw at my throat. My fingers trembled as I pulled out my phone to call animal control. A voice floated over my shoulder, dripping with snark. If he's lost, let him be lost. Why bother looking for a stupid dog? Asher. He was trailing me, hands in his pocket. Can't even track his owner's scent. An absolute disgrace to the species. Ugly too. That shade of yellow looks like a pile of human shit. Don't raise dogs, Ivy. Canines are possessive creatures. Snap. The rubber band of my patience didn't just break. It disintegrated. I spun around. Are you out of your mind? He froze. The arrogance evaporated. You're yelling at me? For a dog. Disbelief washed over his face. You've had him for 2 weeks, and you're yelling at me because of him? You can't do this to me. His voice cracked. He looked aggrieved. His eyes went wide. The red tint of his irises deepened. Not with anger, but with tears. I stared at him, speechless. What is wrong with this wolf? He is my dog. Of course I'm defending him. I crossed my arms. Besides, didn't you say we were done? That we have no relationship. I looked him up and down. Bespoke suit, silk tie, hand-stitched leather shoes. Looks like you're doing well in human society. I held out my hand. Palm up. Pay me back. He blinked. What? For the food and lodging I provided when I raised you. I need to buy Rocky some new toys. You. He looked like he was going to explode. Toys for a stupid D. Mr. Bernard. A shout from across the street cut him off. A man ran over, panting, eyes glowing with excitement. Mr. Reynolds. He looked at Asher like he was seeing God. Then he turned to me. His attitude did a complete 180. Ivy, why didn't you tell me you knew Mr. Bernard? He was beaming. That project? Consider it signed. I'll have legal draw up the papers right now. If you told me you were this close with Mr. Bernard, we wouldn't have wasted so much time. Me Me, my dog is missing. And now I'm working unpaid overtime on a weekend. Damn Wolf. I forced a smile for Reynolds. Then I turned and shot daggers at Asher. He didn't look sorry. He looked at me with those big, wet eyes, brimming with grievance. The picture of innocence. It was 7 p.m. by the time the ink dried on the contract. I walked out of the building, dead on my feet. Then I froze. There was a standoff at the entrance. Man versus dog. Rocky was tense, body rigid, low growl vibrating in his chest. His claws scraped against the pavement, warning the enemy. The enemy was Asher. He stood there, arms crossed, relaxed, a look of total disdain on his face. He was muttering something. Sounds I couldn't understand. Low, guttural. Is he speaking wolf? Can dogs even understand wolf? I stood there in disbelief for a moment, watching the absurdity. Then I stepped in. I reached down and rubbed Rocky's head. Don't be mad, baby. Mommy's back. Asher went silent. He walked over. He dropped into a squat beside me, hung his head low. What are you doing? Pet me too. He nudged his head toward my hand. I was yours too. You can't just pet him and not me. I was speechless. I just learned who he really is from Mr. Reynolds. Asher, the youngest son of the Bernard dynasty, a major shareholder in the country's largest semiconductor giant, top of the food chain, the 1% of the 1%. How can he be such a shameless wolf? I stood up, gave him my coldest glare. Did you steal my dog? I didn't steal him. He mumbled, avoiding eye contact. The leash was loose. It popped open when I tugged it. The dog just followed a trail of hot dog. I couldn't help it. I just stared at him. Silence. He bit his lip. Fine. I was wrong. His shoulders slumped. Total defeat. You treat him too well. You pet his head. You buy him toys. You kiss him. I am jealous. Before this, I was the only one you raised. Chapter 07. Didn't you say you had a wolf you liked? I didn't let him off the hook. You said we had nothing to do with each other. You told me not to covet you. I narrowed my eyes. That woman today. Is she the wolf you like? You like her, but you come here to tease me? Is that your definition of loyalty? I am not disloyal. That wolf is my sister. My biological sister. We share the same mother. He was frantic. Desperate to explain. You were the one hugging another man. I got angry. That is why I said those hurtful things. A wolf only has one mate in a lifetime. Unlike you humans. Fickle. Indecisive. So unfaithful. His voice got smaller. More aggrieved. Then, tears. You saved me. You saw my pure wolf form. You touched me and hugged me so many times. You are my chosen mate. You can't cheat on me. Me. It works like that? Chapter 08. I don't like you. I touched you before because I thought you were a dog. No, a canine. I don't know how you werewolves define the term mate, but in the human world, hugs and head pats do not constitute a binding relationship. I gave it to him straight. The commission from this project, it covers your food bill from the time you stayed at my place. We are even. I don't like you. I don't want to be your mate. Please stop doing these weird things. Goodbye. Actually, no. Let's make that farewell. I didn't wait for an answer. I grabbed Rocky's leash and walked away. Fast. I wanted to put as much distance as possible between me and that bizarre wolf. He didn't chase me. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Back home, I made Rocky a feast. Beef, sweet potato, and vegetable broth poured over his kibble. I sat on the floor and watched him lick the bowl clean. My heart ached for him. That bad wolf made my baby starve all day. I rubbed Rocky's head. Next time we see him, we bite him. Deal? Rocky grinned. He lifted a paw. High-fived me. Night fell. I was drifting in and out of sleep. Suddenly, I felt something furry. It was rubbing against my chin. I thought it was the dog. I pushed it away instinctively. Baby, stop. Let mommy sleep. The thing froze. Then it rubbed harder. A tongue. Wet, hot, rough. It dragged along the sensitive skin of my neck. Once, twice. The sensation was electric. The heat was suffocating. It sent a numbing shiver straight down my spine. My eyes snapped open. I stared directly into a pair of eyes. Pitch black. Narrow. Staring at me like he wanted to swallow me whole. Asher.